BlackRock just forced this $4.6 trillion giant to adopt Bitcoin, but it might not be as surprising as you might think. Now, of course, we're talking about the UK and England because you're looking at the FICA now being approved for BlackRock. But what is that? And how is this significant? Well, it's one of the most toughest places to register. And so now it is allowing BlackRock to be the arranger for the iShares Digital Assets AG and its exchange traded products, or the ETP, that was launched in Europe not too long ago. And look at this, out of the 368 applicants, only 51% of the firms have been approved by the FCA to date. Now, what all does this mean for Bitcoin and everything going forward? And why is this not as surprising as some might think? Well, the UK has been quietly bullish on Bitcoin. Now, it's not all because of what we're seeing here with BlackRock and the FICA, and I'll get into that in a minute, maybe later on in this video. But BlackRock advisors and the BlackRock investment management firm have been looking to be authorized for quite some time in the UK. But it's interesting because if you look at the overall holdings by nation states for Bitcoin, look at who's sitting at number 3 here. We have the UK with 61,000 Bitcoin here. Now, it isn't surprising because BlackRock and others have been moving to essentially every single market that they could possibly get into to bring Bitcoin to more and more of their customers, more and more of their investors. So seeing this and seeing what we have here, we've got the UK, the third largest Bitcoin holder in the world, and now BlackRock moving into the UK to get more access to that region. And BlackRock enters the UK crypto market with this FCA registration, which, like I said previously, only 51 out of the 368 really got approved. That's less than a 20% clip, folks. So it is very difficult to get approved. But now the largest money manager in the world is going there. And the approval comes just days after BlackRock's ETP, which I did a previous video on, was listed on the Euronext stock market in Paris and Amsterdam. So Larry Fink does it again. Look, people got mad at me last video for calling him legend, but he is extremely, extremely bullish on Bitcoin. And for all of you that don't know, I mean, I didn't before really doing some research in here, the London Stock Exchange is the biggest over in Europe. So it's absolutely massive that these people are getting a bunch of access now towards Bitcoin. We're seeing more and more access towards Bitcoin than we've seen ever before. And coincidentally, the UK government is sitting on a Bitcoin gold mine. But as we know, like many of the other governments around the world, the UK never bought Bitcoin, right? They never bought Bitcoin. They simply just continued to scoop up as much seized Bitcoin as possible. But with worries of the growth of the UK economy mounting and the data suggesting a slowdown stacking up, some are suggesting the Treasury might want to look less traditional assets and plug holes into the deficit. So now, yet again, another country is now looking at a Bitcoin strategic reserve. But like I said before, this wasn't Bitcoin that was just all of the sudden bought by the UK government. This is Bitcoin that has been seized by the UK government and has been taken from this man right here. And we will get into his story on how he just wants until he can have his Bitcoin back. It's been more than a decade since James Howell's hard drive containing Bitcoin, now worth hundreds of millions of pounds, ended up in a landfill site. He is determined on his mission to retrieve it. It's his 9 to 5. Everybody's looking for it, right? So the UK has had plenty of stories here with government, but if you look at the way that Bitcoin has been treated here in UK, this is my friend, pull that up, Jamie, my great AI that I use to search at a lot of these things. But Bitcoin's first world has been mightily adopted here by the UK and other governments around there, right? It's been really picked up here, but the difference is that the UK is estimated to hold a substantial amount of Bitcoin confiscated from criminal operators, potentially worth millions of pounds, right? And so a notable case involved this guy, James Howells, and others. But either way, England and the United Kingdom are now thriving in the Bitcoin community with various exchanges, wallets, and businesses. And now we're seeing BlackRock come into the mix and continue that with the UK government sitting directly by their side, which is absolutely lunacy when we see the UK government, who has been very against freedom. If you tweet something that they don't like, people have been going to jail for memes in the UK. And now we're seeing the potential of BlackRock coming in and essentially shifting all of that because of Donald Trump and what he's been doing, right? We've got people now suggesting that the UK should be using this seized Bitcoin as a non-traditional asset. Last week, the Bank of England cut interest rates in the forecast that UK GDP will only grow by less than 1% this year, half of what it was forecasted in November. So the interest rate environment and everything else is really putting pressure on everyone around the globe, and not just the UK, but it's been putting pressure on everybody. And so with this pressure, the massive amounts of pressure that we're seeing from all different asset classes, people are looking for a safe haven, looking for something to throw their money in. And Bitcoin is being one of them. BlackRock recognizes this, and BlackRock has now moved into the biggest investment bank, stock market in all of Europe, and will continue that run here. We will continue to see BlackRock and others really push towards Bitcoin and look to expand. But it's interesting that we're seeing this backflip occur so quickly because of these products that BlackRock is rolling out here across the globe. We've gone over their ETP, their exchange traded product that is now rolling out in Europe. And this flip in the UK is all because that then now the European market has access to this. And so London and England, the London Stock Exchange, and all the English investors and the UK investors, they don't want to be left behind with all of this. So now we're seeing BlackRock move over towards this and become more and more bullish on global Bitcoin adoption, global access towards Bitcoin, not just specific areas. We're looking at them expand and expand rapidly. And so that's why I think that this is a huge move, because it's not about just the expansion into a small market. It's an expansion in one of the largest markets in the world. Of course, the US Stock Exchange, but the London Stock Exchange is absolutely massive, right? So if you're looking at the size and the scale, this is about a $4.7 trillion market cap on the London Stock Exchange, at least as of December 2022. So it could be even larger now. And we're seeing that all get access towards Bitcoin. As we're seeing Bitcoin run up today, We had Bitcoin touch 87,000 with all of this. So investors are seeing this, and we're having more products roll out when we've been crab walking, which I think is very interesting and just shows the value proposition of Bitcoin, right? Because we're seeing more and more people adopt Bitcoin. We're seeing more and more products get rolled out to Bitcoin and giving more access to Bitcoin all across the globe. Look, I'm not saying that you should follow BlackRock and you should now adopt this ETP or, go through an ETF or something along those lines. I've always been a huge proponent of self-custody. That's why I partnered with my friends over at the Bitcoin Well, where they force you to do self-custody because they're strictly non-custodial, which means no counterparty risk. You don't have to worry about BlackRock going under. You don't have to worry about BlackRock needing to seize your Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about anybody else but yourself to control that Bitcoin. So I'm going to give you guys some free sats. So if you haven't already, smoke the like button like Cheech and Chong, as my man in the chat, All Nighter Hider, the GOAT, is saying. Hit the subscribe button, get the bell notification. So when I go live, you guys know I'm giving you free sats, potentially the chance to win 1 million sats. So here we go. We got the wishing well going here. How many tokens? How many sats are we going to get you? 2,100 sats. Here we go. We are up in this for the people at home. So get your Lightning wallets out and scan this as quickly as possible so we can get your free sats, the 2,100 sats we got here. So all of you guys in the chat, what is up? It's good to be king and be able to take people's Bitcoin. Amen. Right. So as All Nighter Hider is saying, get some. So get some of those sats. We got 2,100 coming to you. But if you didn't sign up already, go to bitcoinwell.com/greencandle and you can get yourself some Bitcoin every time you buy Bitcoin. And if you're looking for a way to store that, you could go to bitbox.swiss/greencandle. You could get the Bitbox O2. I recommend the Bitcoin only version. You can click buy now, green candle. You'll get a discount. And then they also got metal backup plates. So you could stamp your seed phrase, get the seed wallet, all of these different things. So you can get yourself in cold storage immediately. And once you buy on Bitcoin Well, you can utilize Bitcoin or Bitbox at bitbox.swish/green candle. And then you can get your perfect setup all in one. Because what we're seeing here, folks, is we're seeing BlackRock really push the needle forward. We're seeing BlackRock continue to put more and more effort on expanding these Bitcoin products across the globe, right? So why are they expanding? Well, they'll have the ability to control more of your Bitcoin. As TF in the chat is saying, it's good to be the king and be able to take the people's Bitcoin. Amen to that. BlackRock now will say, hey, you guys want all this access to Bitcoin? We know UK, third largest country holding in Bitcoin. But this now entering that UK crypto market, the $10 trillion asset manager, hey, trust us, bro. We've got your Bitcoin. We'll hold it for you closely, close to the vest. But now it's registered. BlackRock can run its European bank exchange traded product, the ETP, under a UK entity, further expanding into crypto. But the FCA isn't making things simple. It's tightened regulations and turned away firms that don't meet the strict standards. Allegedly, BlackRock meets these strict standards. But what do these guys really know about Bitcoin, right? Let's be honest here. I'm not sure that, I'm sure Larry Fink knows that he can pump his own bags with Bitcoin. I'm sure that all these guys know that they can pump their own bags with Bitcoin. But do they really know the value proposition of it? Do they really know about the 21 million fixed supply? No, what they are seeing is that the BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin ETP was listed on the European stock markets in Paris and Amsterdam. And so the London Stock Exchange did not want to fall behind. The London Stock Exchange did not want to not offer something that you could get at another stock exchange in Europe. So all of these guys are seeing just how much access people around Europe and around the globe are getting to Bitcoin. So they're like, hey, we want to continue to spread through there. Now, Manuela Sperandio, I'm sure I said that 100% accurately. BlackRock's head of European and Middle East shares sees this as a major shift in the industry. Look at this, major shift in the industry. That's not me saying that, right? That's not my headline. It reflects what could be seen as a tipping point. Retail demand is strong, and now professionals are getting involved. What does that mean, folks? It means they're coming for your Bitcoin. You got to scoop up as much as possible because Larry Fink and BlackRock is looking at this price action here as we trickled across 87K. He's looking at this and licking his chops, saying, hey, I would love to see more BlackRock products offering people and money managers Bitcoin across the globe. But I wouldn't be trusting them with your Bitcoin. I'll say this time and time again, right? But we're seeing this price action looking extra, extra juicy. And Larry Fink, what did he come out and say the other day? He came out and said that Bitcoin could overtake the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Now, we've gotten all of these different money managers around the globe really continuing to buy and scoop up Bitcoin. And it just makes me believe that they see something under the hood that many of us have never seen before. It's all of these guys that have been in the market for quite some time are really starting to look at the problems of these fiat currencies. The problems of these interest rates cuts is welcome news. It helps ease everything, but inflation isn't under wraps. That's why we're taking blockers to get Britain's building again, ripping up unnecessary regulatory barriers, and investing in our country to rebuild roads and rails and vital infrastructure. Well, what are they doing as well? They're ripping up some of these rails to invest in crypto, right? Bitcoin Beacon, glad you got the sats, my man. Keep on coming to these live streams. Like I said before, smoke the like, hit the subscribe button with the bell notification. You will win some sats eventually if you come enough times and you get your Lightning wallets already. Because BlackRock and Larry Fink are looking at these things. They're looking at the overall market. They're looking at inflation. It's not done. Look, national debt crisis is $2.8 trillion just in the UK. It's the same value as their GDP. When this happens, historically, when the amount of the amount of debt is equal to the amount of their GDP, usually those fiat currencies absolutely fail. That's what's happened historically. And that's happening in the UK currently. That's happening in the US, or we're very close on that. And so the combination of the financial crash and the COVID pandemic has pushed UK's debt back up. So that'll continue. So, like I said, UK, 61,000 Bitcoin. These Bitcoin wallets were seized previously, and they're in allegedly a safety deposit box that the investigation really realized that they made the largest seizure in cryptocurrency history in the UK. So it looks like Larry Fink is now turning the corner in the UK, bringing Bitcoin to more investors and one of the largest markets in the world, especially in Europe. So if you haven't already, smoke the like button, hit that subscribe button, and go check out my latest podcast with my friend Luke Mikic. We just dropped another banger the other day, where if you know me and Luke, you know that we're always having a great time. So go ahead and check that out. hit that, and then get the subscribe button. Comment on that video. Tell me what you guys think. All right. And enough for me. Set the notification because I will be back later this afternoon in a couple hours to bring you guys another great live stream.